Welcome back to English from A to Z. Okay, so let me just throw something out there to start. What if? What if the most valuable thing you have, the real game changer, isn't your talent, not your skills, not the stuff on your CV, but something else entirely?
That's a strong start. Provocative.
Right, because today we're really digging deep into this idea, and it does challenge how we usually think about success. The core idea, attitude is more important than skill.
Which sounds bold, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It kind of flies in the face of, well, everything we're usually taught. Focus on the skills, get the qualifications.
Exactly, but think about it for a second. Picture someone you really admire, someone incredibly successful. Could be a business leader, a sports star, an amazing artist, maybe even a teacher who totally changed things for you.
Okay, got someone in mind.
Was it only their skill that made them unforgettable? Just raw talent?
Probably not just that, no, when you really think about
Or
it.
was there something else, like their courage, their energy, how they just kept going even when things got tough? Their belief.
Their attitude.
Precisely. Their attitude. That's what left the real mark, didn't it?
Yeah, it's often the unseen stuff that makes the biggest difference. And that's really our mission for this deep dive. We're going to unpack that powerful statement. We're drawing a lot from this really insightful audiobook we looked at, which goes into incredible detail on this.
Right.
So we'll explore why skill on its own sometimes just isn't enough, how attitude really acts as the driving force. And most importantly, we want to give you some solid practical insights. How can you actually cultivate that kind of unstoppable attitude?
Yeah, this isn't just theory. We want this to be practical,
Yeah.
something you can use to reshape things, your career, relationships, how you learn, your future.
Exactly. We'll look at the arguments, some real-world examples, and give you tools to build an attitude that, really wins and keeps winning.
No. Okay, let's get into that core argument then, because it really does flip things on their head. The source material gives us this great starting image. Imagine two people right at the beginning, life's starting line. Person number one, super skilled, got the degrees, the technical know-how, maybe just bags of natural talent, picks all the boxes.
The kind of person you'd bet on, maybe, based on paper.
Totally. Then there's person number two, less skilled, maybe just average by those traditional standards, no fancy papers, no obvious gift, but they have this invisible force, an unstoppable attitude, a quiet kind of resolve maybe, a belief they can grow.
Okay, I see the contrast, the skilled one and the determined one.
Now, fast forward, say, 5, 10 years. Who's really thriving? Who's leading, innovating, inspiring people? Living with real purpose. The source material makes a strong case that, more often than not, it's the second person. The one whose attitude got them through the tough times, the storms that pure skill alone just couldn't navigate.
Right, because life throws those storms at everyone, skilled or not.
Exactly. It's the one who fell down but got back up, believed when others didn't, just kept pushing. Their attitude was the engine.
Which brings us to that paradox you mentioned. We spend so much time, so much energy chasing skills, years of it, classes, certificates, practice.
And look, skills matter. Let's be clear, they absolutely do. You need competence.
Of course. But here's the killer line from the source. It really stuck with me. Skill without the right attitude is like a Ferrari with no fuel.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
It looks amazing, right? All that
Yeah.
potential, engineering brilliance. But it doesn't move. It's just sitting there.
Inert potential.
Exactly. And the fuel, that's the attitude. It's your mindset, your resilience when things go wrong, your willingness to learn and grow, that sheer determination.
That's what makes the engine roar.
Precisely. That's what turns effort, sometimes messy, imperfect effort, into actual progress. And that progress over time builds into real sustainable success.
Without that internal drive, the belief, the willingness, even the best skills just sit there. An impressive statue, maybe, but not going anywhere.
We see this play out everywhere, don't we? It's not just abstract.
Oh, definitely. Think about sports, professional sports. How many incredibly naturally talented athletes are there
The ones with all the raw gifts.
who never quite reached the top? They have the physical stuff, the technique, but maybe they lack that mental toughness, that drive when the pressure is really on.
Or they get injured and just can't find their way back.
Right. Then you see others, maybe seen as underdogs, less natural flair, perhaps.
Yeah, the grinders.
And they climb right to the very top simply because they refuse to quit. Their commitment, their work ethic, their belief just carries them further than talent alone ever could.
That old saying, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. It's basically attitude, isn't it?
It really is. And it's not just sports. Think about workplaces.
Absolutely. Workplaces are full of this. You see brilliant people. I mean, genuinely smart, highly qualified.
Top degrees, technically amazing.
But their attitude holds them back.
Yeah.
Maybe they're cynical or resistant to change or just difficult to work with.
Yeah, they poison their own potential almost. Their brilliance gets overshadowed.
While others, maybe not the geniuses on paper, they just bring this energy, this curiosity, this can-do spirit. They're determined.
And they're the ones who rise quickly, aren't they? They get picked for leadership roles. People want to work with them.
Exactly. It's not just theory. It's happening all the time in careers and teams. The evidence is right there.
The source uses another analogy. I really like the builder's analogy.
Yes, the house building.
Imagine you're building a house. Your skills, that's your toolbox.
Yeah.
Hammer, nails, saw, wood, the blueprint, all essential, right? Can't build without them.
Makes sense. The practical tools.
But attitude, that's the builder's hands actually doing the work. It's the persistence when a storm hits and delays everything. It's the creative thinking when you run out of a specific material unexpectedly.
Or when you find a flaw in the blueprint.
Exactly. And crucially, it's the vision. Seeing that finished house, standing strong, even when you're just digging in the mud at the start.
Without that attitude, those great tools just lie there. The blueprint gathers dust.
But with the right attitude, even with maybe fewer or less fancy tools, you can build something amazing.
So the underlying message, the thing the source keeps coming back to, is shifting your focus.
Right. Away from just, I need to be the most skilled.
Towards something more like, I need to cultivate the right attitude. It's a fundamental mindset shift.
Because when the attitude is right, positive, resilient, growth-oriented, you naturally start looking for the skills you need, don't you?
You do. You embrace learning, you adapt, you grow.
But if you rely only on the skills you already have, without that strong attitude backbone...
You plateau, or worse, you crumble at the first big hurdle.
Yeah.
Because you haven't built that inner strength, that belief.
It hammers home that truth. Life doesn't just reward the most talented. It rewards the most determined.
And determination is attitude in action.
Okay, so let's get even more practical. Think about the power of attitude day to day. I want you, listening right now, to recall a time you faced something that felt, well, impossible.
We've all had those moments.
An exam you were sure you'd bum. Applying for a job way out of your league, just getting back up after life knocked you flat.
Yeah.
In that moment, what actually pushed you forward? Was it just skill, or was it that gut feeling, that determination, that belief, that refusal to quit?
It's rarely just the skill in those moments, is it?
Yeah.
It's something deeper.
That's attitude. And let's be clear, like the source emphasizes, it's not about fake positivity, not just slapping on a smile.
No, it's much more fundamental. It's about the choice you make, how you choose to see things, how you choose to respond to adversity, the energy you bring.
Skill helps you solve the problem, technically.
But attitude decides if you even try to solve it. It's the ignition.
There's that classic story the source uses, the two salesmen. It illustrates this perfectly.
The shoe salesman, yes.
Two salesmen sent to a remote country. They both arrive, look around, and notice the exact same thing. Nobody wears shoes.
Okay, same data point for both.
Salesman number one immediately sends a message back. Disaster, no opportunity here, nobody wears shoes, sees a dead end.
Right. Problem-focused.
Salesman number 2 sees the exact same situation but sends a completely different message. Incredible opportunity. Everyone needs shoes.
Sees potential. Opportunity-focused.
Same facts, same situation, probably similar sales skills, but totally different attitudes lead to totally different perceived realities.
It shows how attitude shapes what you even see as possible before you take any action.
Yeah.
It filters your reality.
Which makes you wonder, doesn't it? How often do we hold ourselves back, not because we genuinely lack the skill, but because of that inner voice? The one saying, you're not good enough, or you'll probably fail anyway.
That inner critic. That's your attitude talking, often disguised as realism.
And the source makes a powerful point. Most limits aren't about lack of ability, they're self-imposed, created by a lack of belief.
Exactly. Skill is largely external. You can learn it, practice it, get better at it. But attitude, that's internal. You have to choose it, cultivate it, own it.
And that's what makes it so powerful. It's yours. Nobody can take your attitude away from you unless you let them.
Think about Michael Jordan again. Cut from the high school team.
Unbelievable looking back.
Imagine if his attitude was just, okay, guess I'm no good. Game over.
But no! That rejection became fuel. His attitude was, I'll work harder than anyone.
And we remember his relentless drive just as much as his incredible skill. The attitude fueled the skill development, didn't it?
Absolutely. And this applies everywhere. Business, relationships, learning.
Think about that workplace scenario again. The brilliant but negative employee versus the less skilled but eager, positive, growing one.
Who becomes the leader? Who inspires the team? It's usually the one with the right attitude.
And attitude doesn't just sit alongside skill. Our source says it multiplies skill.
Multiplies it. How so?
Well, think of skill as the tool that hammers again. Attitude is the force swinging it. An idle hammer builds nothing, no matter how good it is.
Right. But in determined hands.
It builds futures. Attitude gives skill its impact, its leverage.
And the best part, according to the source.
The best part is that unlike skills, which can take years to build,
Right, years of practice.
attitude can change in a single moment, in a single decision.
Just like that.
You can choose today to see opportunities instead of problems, to see setbacks as lessons, to believe in your potential for growth. That shift can happen instantly.
It's incredibly empowering when you think about it.
It really is.
Okay, so here's a little reflection exercise based on that. Think about an area in your life where you're waiting to feel skilled enough before you act.
Learning that instrument, starting the blog, applying for the promotion.
Ask yourself honestly, is it really a lack of skill holding me back? Or is it my attitude? A fear disguised as a skill gap.
And what if you just decided right now that your current skill is enough to just start? What would change?
That shift from I can't to I can try.
That's transformative. That's attitude opening the door.
It's the spark, the difference between staring at a closed door and daring to knock.
It's entirely within your control. Skill impresses, but attitude inspires. Skill opens doors. Attitude keeps them open. Skill helps you climb.
But attitude determines how high. Love that.
Now let's tackle what the source calls the uncomfortable truth.
Okay, sounds intriguing.
Because skill looks like the ultimate advantage, right?
What?
We admire skilled surgeons, musicians, engineers.
It's visible, measurable, we value it highly. Society tells us it's the key.
But the uncomfortable truth is, skill alone is not enough. History is littered with brilliant failures.
Geniuses who didn't make it.
Exactly. People with incredible talent whose potential was wasted, or worse, they crashed and burned. Why? Because skill without the right attitude. It's like that engine without a driver.
It can sit idle or go off the rails?
Precisely. Attitude provides the direction, the purpose, the control.
So what are the specific reasons skill alone fails? The source breaks it down, right?
It does. Reason one, skill doesn't guarantee resilience.
Resilience, okay.
Think about that gifted pianist again. Things came easily early on. They didn't have to struggle as much.
Right, they didn't build those struggle muscles.
Exactly. So when adult challenges hit fierce competition, harsh criticism, maybe an injury,
What happens?
if they haven't developed resilience through attitude, they might crumble.
Whereas the less naturally talented pianist, the one who had to fight for every improvement, who faced rejection and kept going,
They built resilience along the way. Their attitude fortified them.
and often they surpassed the gifted one in the long run. Skill didn't prepare them for life's storms. Attitude did.
Okay, that makes sense. What's reason two?
Reason two, skill doesn't guarantee humility. And this, the source suggests, might be the biggest trap of all.
Arrogance, complacency.
Exactly. When you're highly skilled, it's easy to start thinking you know it all, that you're untouchable.
And when you think you know it all.
You stop learning, you stop adapting, you stop growing. And in a world that changes so fast, standing still is falling behind.
We see this in disrupted industries all the time. Skilled professionals who resisted change.
Because they were confident in their existing skills. And they got left behind. While others may be less skilled initially, but more curious, more open, more adaptable, they thrived.
Their skill blinded them. Attitude kept the others flexible. Humility keeps you learning.
That's a powerful point. Skill can be a blinder without humility. Okay, reason three.
Reason three, skill doesn't guarantee teamwork. You can be a genius, but if nobody wants to work with you,
Right. If your attitude is toxic, dismissive, difficult,
your brilliance doesn't matter much in a collaborative environment. Skill might get you the job.
but attitude determines if you keep it, if you thrive, if you become a leader.
Remember that story of the brilliant but toxic software engineer?
Yeah, amazing skills, but gone in months because nobody could work with him.
Contrasted with the less skilled but collaborative, energetic person who grew into a key leader.
It really highlights why waiting to feel skilled enough is such a trap. Perfection never arrives, and attitude is needed now.
Think about Edison again. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work.
Incredible persistence. His skill was huge, obviously, but that attitude...
That attitude is what made the difference. Imagine giving up after try number 9,000. Skill alone wouldn't have gotten him there.
So, the final truth here from the source.
Skill is finite. Attitude is infinite.
Finite versus infinite. Explain that.
Skills become outdated, right? Technology changes, industries shift. What you know today might be less relevant tomorrow.
True. Constant change.
But attitude, the willingness to learn, the resilience to keep going, the humility to improve, that's timeless.
Yeah.
That never expires.
So the real question isn't just, what skills do you have?
It's what attitude are you bringing with those skills? That's the deeper, more predictive question.
Skills get you in the door.
Attitude keeps you in the room. Skills win awards.
Attitude wins respect. Skills help you build.
Attitude helps you rebuild. That's the essence of it.
Okay, so if attitude is that crucial, more so than skill, how do we actually build it? It feels like something you either have or you don't sometimes.
That's a common misconception, and the source really pushes back against that. It argues strongly that attitude isn't just an innate trait you're born with.
It's not fixed.
No, it's a choice. And like a muscle, it's something you can strengthen with practice. You build it consciously, brick by brick, day by day.
Okay, so how do we start laying those bricks? What's the foundation?
The foundation, according to the material we reviewed, rests on three core traits: a growth mindset, adaptability, and grit.
Great. Growth mindset that comes from Carol Dweck's work, doesn't it? The fixed versus growth idea.
Exactly. Fixed mindset says, my talent is fixed, I am what I am. Growth mindset says, I can improve, I can learn, my abilities can develop through effort.
Like those two students facing the hard math problem.
Precisely. The fixed mindset student says, I'm bad at math, and gives up. The growth mindset student says, I don't get this yet, but I'll figure it out.
That yet is so powerful.
It changes everything. It opens the door to effort and learning instead of closing it. A
Yep.
practical tip, just add yet to your I can't statements. I can't do this yet.
Simple, but effective. Okay, second trait. Adaptability.
Life is unpredictable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Careers change, challenges pop up, the world shifts. A winning attitude needs to be flexible.
Like the tree in the storm analogy.
Exactly. The rigid tree snaps, the flexible tree sways and survives. Adaptability is that willingness to pivot, to learn new things, to try different approaches when plan A doesn't work.
It's asking, okay, that didn't work. What else can I try? Instead of getting stuck.
Right. And you build it by deliberately stepping outside your comfort zone. Small steps count. Try a new route. Learn a basic new skill. Talk to someone new. The more you practice adapting to small changes, the easier the big ones become.
Makes sense. Build the adaptation muscle. And the third trait, grit.
Grit. Angela Duckworth's concept. Passion and perseverance for long-term goals. Basically not quitting when things get hard.
We all start motivated, but what happens when the initial excitement wears off?
Or when you hit obstacle after obstacle. That's where grit comes in. A winning attitude, fueled by grit, acknowledges the difficulty. Yes, this is hard, but adds, but I'm not done. I'll keep going.
It's not about never feeling like quitting, maybe, but
Yep.
just not actually quitting.
Exactly. And it's not about being tough all the time. It's about consistency.
Yeah.
Showing up even when you don't feel like it. Start small. Commit to just 10 minutes a day on that long-term goal. Those small acts build the habit of perseverance.
Growth mindset, adaptability, grit, that's the foundation. So what are some other practical things we can do day to day to build that winning attitude?
The source gives a great list. First, surround yourself with energy, not negativity.
Attitude is contagious.
Yeah.
Choose your company wisely.
Absolutely. Limit exposure to constant negativity, whether it's people or media.
Yeah.
Seek out positive.
Jacket.
Reframe failures as lessons. Shift from why me to what can I learn from this? See setbacks as data, as stepping stones.
Third, practice gratitude daily. Simple but powerful.
Just writing down 3 things you're grateful for shifts your focus from lack to abundance, builds positivity.
Fourth, talk to yourself, not against yourself.
Be your own coach, not your own critic. Replace I'm terrible at this with I'm learning, I'm improving. Positive self-talk matters.
And finally,
Take action, even if imperfect. Don't wait for perfect conditions or perfect skills. Start now. Adjust as you go. Action builds momentum and confidence.
so it really comes back to choice, doesn't it? Every day.
Every single day, limitations or opportunities. Quit or persist. Complain or create. The choice might not feel easy, but it's always yours.
So what kind of attitude are you building today? Is it fragile or resilient? Fixed or adaptable? That's the question.
Because that attitude, ultimately, will carry you through everything else. Skills, circumstances, challenges, they all interact with your chosen attitude.
Okay, we've covered the why, the what, the how. Now let's see it in action. The source material brings this alive with real stories, right?
It does. And this is where it really hits home. Seeing how these principles play out in real lives is incredibly motivating.
Let's start with an athlete, Serena Williams. Obviously immense skill, but her story is so much more than that.
Absolutely. Think about the injuries she faced, the setbacks, the comebacks, the immense pressure, especially later in her career. Many with her level of skill might have retired much earlier.
But she just kept coming back. That resilience.
That attitude of I can and I will, it wasn't just talent keeping her at the top for so long. It was sheer grit and belief. Talent gets you started, attitude keeps you winning.
Then there's a business example, Howard Schultz and Starbucks.
A fantastic story. He wasn't born into success, grew up poor, faced hundreds of rejections for his initial vision for Starbucks.
People didn't get the third place idea initially, did they?
Not at all. They thought it was too niche, wouldn't work in America. But his belief, his passion, his refusal to stop that attitude built a global empire. Was he the most skilled business theorist? Maybe not initially. But his attitude drove him to learn, adapt, and persist.
And it's not just famous people. The source mentioned a student, Javier.
Yes, a really moving example. Moved to a new country, struggled with the language, poor grades initially. Some teachers wrote him off.
That must have been incredibly discouraging.
Hugely. But his attitude was, I'll study harder. I'll ask more questions. I'll keep trying. He didn't accept the initial judgment.
And he succeeded.
He mastered the language, became a top student, earned a scholarship. His willingness to learn, his attitude, transformed his reality. Skill can be taught, but that willingness comes from attitude.
These stories are powerful, but it's important to connect it back to everyday life too, right? It's not just for superstars.
Absolutely not. Attitude plays out constantly. At work. When a project fails, does your attitude lead you to blame or to take responsibility and find solutions? That choice impacts the whole team.
In relationships, communication skills help, sure. But patience, kindness, willingness to listen, that's attitude building trust.
In health, maybe you're not a master chef or a fitness guru, but the attitude of consistency, showing up for that walk, making that healthier choice, that's what creates results over time.
And learning anything new. The attitude of I'll keep going till I get it is often more powerful than being the fastest learner initially.
It's the silent force shaping outcomes everywhere. And it has that ripple effect we talked about.
Right, one negative person can really drag down a whole group.
Like wildfire. But the opposite is also true. One person with energy, hope, resilience, they can lift everyone. They shift the atmosphere.
You don't need the most skills to be that person, that leader. You just need the right attitude.
Exactly. So how can you, the listener, put this into action more deliberately?
Okay, practical steps. Instead of why me when something goes wrong,
Ask, how can I? It shifts you from victim to problem solver instantly.
treat failure as feedback. What did it teach you?
Don't personalize it as I am a failure, but analyze it as this approach didn't work. What can I learn?
Lead with energy, even if you're not the most experienced. Positivity is infectious.
And practice courage in small ways. Raise your hand, ask for help. Take that first small, scary step.
So here's the challenge for you listening. This week, find one situation where you usually hold back because you feel you lack the skill.
Just one. And instead of holding back, step forward with an attitude of willingness. Willingness to try, willingness to learn, willingness to be imperfect.
You might genuinely surprise yourself. That's where potential meets action, driven by attitude.
Okay, let's talk about that leap from ordinary to extraordinary. We look at successful people, and they often seem different, gifted, almost superhuman.
Like they were just born that way.
But the source argues strongly that this is mostly an illusion. Society loves the natural talent narrative, but it's misleading. Most extraordinary people started out feeling pretty ordinary.
They built themselves.
Exactly. Brick by brick. It wasn't just innate talent, it was cultivated attitude. We mentioned Edison called too stupid to learn.
Incredible. His skill looked deficient early on, but his attitude toward failure and learning was off the charts.
And J.K. Rowling. Struggling single mom. Multiple rejections. Her writing skill was there, but it was her attitude, her belief in her story against all odds that carried her through.
Michael Jordan again cut from the team. That fueled an extraordinary attitude towards practice and determination.
These aren't exceptions. They illustrate the rule. Ordinary people achieve extraordinary outcomes through extraordinary attitudes.
So how does attitude actually do that? How does it make that transformation happen?
Through the compound effect of attitude. It's not one big heroic moment, usually.
It's the small things adding up.
Yes. Small choices, consistent efforts, mindset shifts repeated day after day, they compound over time. Think of those two people with equal skills again.
The one who sees obstacles as dead ends versus the one who sees them as detours.
Exactly. Their paths diverge dramatically over time purely because of the compounding effect of their different attitudes. Extraordinary isn't built in giant leaps. It's built in daily decisions.
Persistence over giving up. Optimism over doubt. Growth over comfort. Repeated consistently.
So becoming extraordinary in your own life isn't about waiting for some magic moment or acquiring superhuman skills.
It starts with a shift in perspective.
Right. Seeing challenges as opportunities, mistakes as teachers, effort as fuel. Owning your attitude is the first step.
So those reflection questions are key. How do I approach challenges with curiosity or fear? Setbacks, reasons to quit, or lessons to grow?
Do I really believe my attitude today shapes who I become tomorrow? Answering those honestly shows you where you can start building that extraordinary mindset.
And the key takeaway here is that extraordinary doesn't mean perfect or easy.
Not at all. It means living with purpose, resilience, courage. It means rising one more time than you fall.
The gap between ordinary and extraordinary is often just that little extra. Extra effort, extra belief.
Extra resilience. And that extra is built on attitude, not just skill. So remember, you don't have to be extraordinary to start.
But with the right attitude, you can become extraordinary. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, let's just pause and reflect. I really hope something resonated, that intuitive feeling many of us have.
That skills were important, yes, but attitude, that's the bedrock.
We've talked about inventors failing thousands of times, writers facing rejection, athletes told no.
They're a common thread. Not perfect skill. It was an unstoppable mindset, an unshakable attitude.
And the most empowering part is that this ability to shift, to choose your attitude, is within you. Right now, you can move from ordinary to extraordinary by choosing the right attitude day by day.
If we had to boil it down to 3 fundamental truths from everything we've discussed.
Okay, the core takeaways.
1. Attitude shapes your destiny. Skills open doors. Attitude determines how far you walk through them.
2, failure is part of success, not its opposite. With the right attitude, setbacks become stepping stones.
And 3, extraordinary is built daily. It's the result of consistent choices, those small extra actions compounding over time.
These aren't just nice ideas. They're truths proven by those who dared to believe and persist.
So this is your call to action. Don't just listen. Apply this.
Pick one area: career, relationships, learning, health. Just one. And commit to approaching it with a new attitude this week.
Maybe it's resilience. I won't quit. Maybe growth. I'm willing to learn. Maybe courage. I'm afraid, but I'll act anyway.
Write it down, say it out loud, carry it with you. Because changing your attitude truly starts to change your world.
And remember, this isn't the end point. It's the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter where you stop waiting for perfect skills and start living with a powerful attitude. The people you admire, they were what's where you are, doubting, uncertain, until they chose to believe. They chose to persist. They chose the right attitude.
So the final thought we want to leave you with is this. The extraordinary life you dream of isn't reserved for someone else. It's waiting for you. And the only real question left is, what attitude will you choose today to start unlocking it?
Choose that attitude, and the skills will follow, the doors will open, and that imagined life will start to unfold.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the truly transformative power of attitude.
Remember that core message. Attitude is more important than skill, and the choice to live with the right attitude, that's always yours.
If this conversation sparked something for you, please share it with someone else who might need to hear this message. Be that spark for them. Until next time, keep diving deep.